Hi, I'm Liz Schrum of the Wisconsin Technology Council, here with WisBusiness.com, the show, brought to you by Grant Thornton, White Hirschbeck Dudek, and Madison Gas and Electric. On today's show, Tom Still, in his commentary, lays out a wish list for the new year. And Mark Bugher, director of the University Research Park in Madison, talks about the current park and plans for its long-term expansion. I'll be right back with the WisBusiness.com stock report for early January 2011.
What has made Grant Thornton one of the largest accounting organizations in the world, with resources in more than 100 countries worldwide? Is it their global capabilities, or is it their passion for how they serve their clients? Grant Thornton.
And now, here's the WisBusiness.com stock report for early January 2011. Rising regulatory changes. With a new governor comes high hopes of more business-friendly regulations from state government. Governor Scott Walker's call for a special session on the economy will be followed by a bill that will include a wide-ranging overhaul of the state's administrative rules process. The plan requires the governor to approve rules from state agencies and ban agencies from creating rules that are more restrictive than regulatory standards set by the legislature. Democrats have balked at what they call Walker's power grab, however, which means there may be legislative and legal challenges. And falling, dairy farmers. Wisconsin, the nation's #2 milk-producing state, reports only a 1% boost in production, according to the most recent statistics. Most other states saw increases of 3.5% over a year ago. #1 milk producer California led the country with a 4% increase. Economists fear 2011 will bring a price squeeze that could force more dairy farmers out of business. That's the WisBusiness.com stock report. Go to WisBusiness.com for more on these and other stories. And now, here's Tom Still with his Inside Wisconsin commentary.
Here are some New Year's predictions for the Wisconsin economy, or maybe just some wishful thinking. First, Wisconsin's emerging businesses will find the capital they need to grow. One of the state's success stories since 2005 has been its tax credits for investors in startup companies. These credits prompted a fourfold increase in early-stage investing in 5 years and made Wisconsin the nation's leader in creating angel networks. Even with enhanced tax credits in 2011 and beyond, Wisconsin must attract more venture capital investment, second-round money that helps young companies move from startup to commercial success. Other states have established funds to help attract private dollars for their emerging companies. With its market-tested investor tax credits already in place, Wisconsin should move to the next level. In fact, that sounds like a pretty good assignment for Governor Walker's new Economic Development Corp. Second, opponents of free trade will realize Wisconsin can't prosper without it. Why has the manufacturing economy in the Midwest grown for 17 straight months? People far beyond the region's borders want to buy our goods and products. Wisconsin cannot possibly consume all it produces in any given year, which means markets abroad are vital to the state's employment base and its economy. Wisconsin exports grew steadily throughout the last decade, even as state government reduced the number of overseas trade offices from 12 to 4. Imagine what might happen if Walker replanted some of those Badger flags in Asia, Europe, and South America. Third, the University of Wisconsin system will get more freedom to manage its own resources. A decade ago, state taxpayers were responsible for 33% of the University of Wisconsin system's budget. Today, taxpayers pay about 24%, and it's a smaller percentage on major campuses such as the UW-Madison and UW-Milwaukee. Meanwhile, the UW system is one of the most heavily regulated higher education systems in the nation. State government sets many of the rules for hiring, purchasing, construction, faculty pay, and more, even when private donations, tuition, industry grants, and federal grants are footing most of the bill. By any measure, the UW system is one of the state's leading economic engines. But when it comes to hiring and retaining world-class talent, constructing a building on time, and buying supplies, it is treated like any other state agency. That's a change. Finally, the state budget deficit will be resolved by mid-2011, and Wisconsin will add 250,000 jobs in a single year. Okay, now I'm dreaming, but thinking big can put the happy in a new year.
Thanks, Tom. I'll be right back with Mark Bugher, director of the University Research Park.
White Hirschbeck Dudek represents companies at all stages of development and in a wide range of industries to navigate the legal challenges of regional, national, and global growth. At WHD, every stage takes center stage.
We're back with Mark Bugher, director of the University Research Park. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Great to be here.
University Research Park has grown to 126 companies at 3,500 employees in about 25 years. Describe the profile of a typical company and its workers.
Well, most of our companies in the University Research Park are life science companies that have been inspired by technologies that were discovered at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in our research labs, classrooms, and venues all across the campus. Our main mission is to provide an infrastructure for those companies to grow and thrive and survive and end up getting their technologies into the marketplace as they progress as a company. So many of our companies are small, early stage startup companies, 2 or 3 employees growing to maybe 25 or 30, and most of them have as their basis products that are in the life sciences, by and large, pharmaceuticals, medical device, and discoveries for some of our most difficult to cure diseases.
Plans for a second University Research Park have been approved and land has been acquired. What are the next steps toward the groundbreaking and development?
Well, at URP2, as we affectionately call it, on Madison's far west side, we're doing mass grading and we're putting in the infrastructure. That means curb, gutter, sewer, sidewalk, all of the things that are important to lay the foundation for our next greatest growth trajectory on the west side of Madison. We will have 270 acres and 50 sites for new early stage startup companies. And I expect that the first series of buildings will go in place in the new park in probably 2012.
Visitors come from literally around the world to learn how the University Research Park works. But people much closer to home can also learn from its success. What is your advice for communities that aspire to build a research park?
Well, I think it's very important and helpful, first of all, to build a park around a particular academic and research objective like we have in Madison. I would argue that it's difficult in some communities to have a research park like the University Research Parks, because in many ways our basis for existence is the University of Wisconsin-Madison, which is one of the leading research universities in the United States. Were it not for UW-Madison, I'm not sure that we would exist in the level and the scale that we currently exist. And so I think it's important for communities to pick a central theme or notion that they would like to create jobs and an economic development strategy around. Of course, it's helpful to have a site that they can focus in and identify, and then to start small and be very patient with a long-term growth trajectory as they build their economic development strategy for their particular community.
Thanks, Mark, and thank you for watching this edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by WisBusiness.com and the Wisconsin Technology Council, and sponsored by Grant Thornton, White Hirschbeck Dudek, and MG&E. Visit our websites to read and learn more. I'm Liz Schrum. See you next time.